while getting coffee and the big mob of people. Welcome back. So we're really, really glad to have you all back, and we're going to move into our next session. Following this session, we're going to have lunch, and we're going to have expo time. It's going to be really great. And before that, we're also going to do a picture. And the reason we're going to do a picture is because in 2012, we had our first Zoholics, and it was organized by Raju, our Chief Evangelist. That's what the evangelists do. You get the crowd together so you can tell them all about the good news. And at that event, we had 80 people. And as we've grown the event, we've always gotten these photos of all of our conference attendees. And at that first event, everybody fit on the stage, right? Not so much anymore, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to fill everything up, and our nice photographer is going to come up and take a nice big wide-angle picture. We're going to throw our hands up and smile. We'll make sure the lights are as dark as possible, you know, and we'll do that, okay? So stick around after the Q&A. We'll do that quick photo, and then we'll release you, okay? So does that sound good? Excellent. Now let's have slightly more enthusiasm for our next speaker. He is the Chief Evangelist of Zoho, Raju Vegesna.
Thank you. Good morning. Great to see the crowd. As Taylor mentioned, this is the largest Zoholics we ever hosted in the country. We host around close to 30 Zoholics across 25 countries. And the size has been growing, the enthusiasm has been growing. Thank you. Thank you for taking 2 days and spending the time with us to learn about the products. The product portfolio has been changing, evolving, and as we grow, the product portfolio keeps getting broader and deeper. And at these events, we tend to showcase some of the new things that we are unveiling, and some of them that are part of the roadmap. And that's what this session is about. So I'll talk about a few things where some of these announcements are going to go live today. Some of them will come in coming weeks, and in some very few in coming months. So that's the idea. You've seen the biggest announcement of the day, of the event, with CRM for everyone. And at our booths in the expo hall, we are showcasing the product. So please do take advantage of it. Now, if you look at some of the other set of products, that's what I'm going to focus on. As we keep improving the products, what's interesting in Zoho's case is the pace of innovation. If you look at our product launches over the course of the last decade or so, the number of products we have been launching has been increasing. You know, if you look at a lot of tech companies, as they grow, as they become big, number of products they tend to release on a yearly basis slows down. But that is not what you're seeing here. It tends to slow down partly because companies move from product engineering to financial engineering. Instead of creating products, they tend to acquire products. And we are unusual in that sense, as Sridhar said, where we tend to focus on core R&D, creating products. Now, what is not represented in this graphic is the improvements that we are making to existing products. This only represents newer additions to our product portfolio. But the number of improvements we make to each of our existing products is significantly more than what you see here. That is what I want to focus on today for the most part, where what are we doing for our existing applications? What are the enhancements that we are making in our product portfolio? Because the pace certainly will continue. We'll keep deepening our products. And of course, as and when we discover a missing piece, we'll add that to our product portfolio. Now, how will that portfolio be determined? As a company, we want to create software where you can run your entire business on Zoho. And Zoho runs on Zoho. And that is how we have executed over the last 2 decades, where as we run our company on Zoho, we recognize the missing pieces and try to address it by either adding the capability to an existing product or creating a new product to address this need. Like take this event, for example. As I said, we host a ton of events, about 30 Zoholics every year, not to mention training workshops. So we needed an event management software. Well, we created Backstage a few years back, and this event runs on Backstage. It's one of the most innovative, event management products out there. And for those of you who haven't used Backstage, check it out. Check out the experience. When you registered for this ticket, it went through Backstage. It went to our ticketing module. Not just that. In fact, if you want to see these slides on your computer, you can go to a Zoholic's website, go to the agenda section, and you will see the sessions that are live. Just join, and you'll be able to see the slides that I'm currently showcasing on your laptop. So this event runs on Backstage. And we also are updating the Backstage now. This is the second major version of Backstage. In fact, we are trying the new version right here at the event as we speak. In fact, the badges are wirelessly printed. We now support wireless printing of badges with certain printers out there. And Backstage mobile application currently supports wireless printing of badges. In fact, we have partnered with Choose to Rent, who is printing the badges now at the reception. And we have done that integration with the certain printer companies to make that happen. This is part of the Backstage release as well. And we have added one other thing. You can pull up your Zoholic's app and scan the badge of any of the attendees. You'll get their information saved as a contact in the Zoholic's app. Not just that, because you scanned the attendee's badge, the attendee will automatically get your contact information shared and added to their Zoholic's app as well. It's a bidirectional sync. That's a new capability we have added in the Backstage app. Similarly, as you go down to the expo hall during lunchtime, I expect you to stop by some of the booths where some of our partners are showcasing and talking about what they do. You can look at, visit their booth, get their information, and if they happen to scan your badge, they can directly add your contact information as a possible lead into their app as well as an exhibitor. That exhibition itself, that section itself is completely enhanced. In fact, we have something called Expo Hall Management, a new capability we have added in Backstage app, where you can completely lay out the floor map of how the exhibitors are being displayed. And that's what we use currently for Zoholics as well. In fact, if you go to the Zoholics website, you will see a floor plan. The floor plan will show you how the floor is laid out. You can zoom in, look at the exhibitors there. We have one-on-one section, we have Zoho Experience Center, and we certainly have the lunch area beyond the expo hall. You can look at all the exhibitors here, and you can click on any of these exhibitors to see what they do, visit their website, submit an inquiry, download their brochure, all of those, and they're all possible right within Backstage. Again, a new capability we are unveiling now at the event. And as you visit each of these booths, the experience is gamified, and you will receive some points. And of course, the top 2 or 3 winners who get the most number of points are going to get a gift. And that experience that capability is new, and we have added that to Backstage, and we have added that to Zoholics as well. So Backstage is one of the best apps when it comes to event hosting. If any of you are hosting events, big or small, it's something worth considering. It has won several awards as well. So now let's get into some of the other announcements. I'm not going to get into too many details about app-specific innovations. May touch on one or two. But we do have several keynotes across 14 tracks where each of those keynotes will get into more depth on what they are announcing across their portfolio. In this session, I want to touch at a high level on what we are doing across a few categories. So I'm going to break it up into 4 categories. I'm going to talk about what we are doing on the AI front. Then we'll dig into some of the other categories. What are we doing in the collaboration, productivity, application category? What's our stance on privacy and security, and what are we doing there? And now, of course, we'll talk about our platform tools as well. Let's start with the AI side. Yeah. So if you look at all the innovation that's happening on the AI, it boils down to one thing. It's about improving our productivity. All the tools that are available are converted into power tools. AI converts tools into power tools. And that's what it fundamentally boils down to. And our take is the best usage of AI is when you do not know that you are using AI, yet you're benefiting from it, from the output of AI. And that's how we look at it, and that's how we implement it and adopt it. And that's an execution strategy. In fact, if you look at the core tenets of AI, 4 key things. AI has to be extremely contextual. That's number 1. I'll talk about that a little more. The number 2 is AI has to be truthful. It can't make things up. Then AI has to protect our privacy. As Sridhar touched on, privacy is core, and that's one of our core beliefs and convictions. We respect that. And then AI should derive value. Oftentimes you see vendors seeing AI as yet another thing that they can nickel and dime you on, and you'll see them charging tens of dollars, in some cases $100+ just for the AI add-on to their products. But we want to deliver value. These are our 4 key tenets of AI. And we have combined all the capability, and we call it ZIA. So ZIA is Zoho's AI. That does not mean we do not integrate with third parties as well. In fact, Zoho's AI integrates with several other third parties as well. You may be interested in OpenAI or Google's Vertex AI. You might be interested in others like Cohere or Anthropic. We support all of these models today. And depending on your preference, you can enable the right one. And the way we have done it is similar to how we have done with other systems like PhoneBridge. Because on one side, you have a list of 50 applications. And on the other side, you have a list of AI capabilities that is available across vendors. Does it make sense to integrate all of these AI vendors into every single application specifically? We did it in a slightly different way, where we built a bridge, call it an AI bridge. All these third parties AI models and integrations are integrated into the bridge, and the bridge is integrated into various Zoho applications. If we need to integrate a new third-party AI system, we just add it and connect it to the bridge, and all the capability will be available across our applications. This is the same way how our phone system works, where we have something called PhoneBridge. On one side, the telephony system is integrated with several applications from Zoho, and on the other side, it is integrated with 100 plus third-party telephony providers. We have done that with messaging, meetings, and whatnot, and it is the same approach. And it gives us some additional capabilities like providing control, adding additional policies and whatnot. And another important take or our belief is one large model is not answer to everything. One size does not fit all. We invest in multiple models. We have several narrow models, several small models, medium, as well as large models. All of these are needed in order to meet the needs. For example, you may have used Zoho Expense to scan the, let's say, a Starbucks receipt, and it converts that into an expense. That's a simple, narrow model. You do not need a large model for that. On the other hand, you may have used a translate button in email you may have received in Zoho Mail that is in another language. And we support 40 plus languages when it comes to translation. But that requires a medium-sized model. Large models come with a compute expense. You don't need that. So you have to pick the right model for the right use case. So the way we look at it is models are ingredients. And you can create recipes using those based on the context. So models can be contextually woven to put together a good use case and to make the user more productive. As I said earlier, productivity is at the core. And context, the first tenet I mentioned, is the critical. AI has to be contextual. And the context itself is business specific. One business context is going to be different from a business context of a different business for the same use case. So context is business specific. A formula is really simple, A plus B equals C, wherein you combine artificial intelligence with the business context. All you get is contextual intelligence. What we are focusing on as a company is what we call as contextual intelligence. It's not about making flashy news on what we are doing on the AI. Our focus is always on the user. Contextually, how useful can we make it for you as a user? And that is our core tenet for AI, contextual intelligence. And if you look at a lot of LLMs that you see out there, like the consumer LLMs, they lack business context. And they lack business data. They lack the domain that the business is in. That B part is missing. And that is where we thrive, where we understand the business. And that contextual intelligence can only be provided when you have the business information. Let's take a simple example. Let's take search. A lot of people may not know that we have a very, very powerful search system called search.zoho.com that searches across your applications and gives you the result. But the search understands context better. For example, you go to search and say, show me the documents shared by my team this month. That is a standard query, but the context has, if you understand the context, there is a lot more depth to it. What does my team mean? The system has to understand your org structure, the people that work with you, the team that may report to you. That entire thing could be considered as my team, but that context could exist in your HR system, something like Zoho People, and that is context. But then you can say, show me the documents that are shared by my team, meaning it should only display the information you have access to. Unlike public search engines, you cannot just show everything that is available in the organization because the permission structure, access control plays a key role. To get this structure, you need to have the AAA in place. that is authentication, authorization, and access control. And all of that provides context. And we are doing AI with the context in taking context into considerations. Like when you go to ZIA search, this is something we are working on. The ZIA search will by default say, hey, you have 5 high priority tasks. How does ZIA search know what is a priority and what not, and across the board? Or how does ZIA search know you have 3 escalations from a customer? All of that requires context. The system should know who is a customer and what is an escalation and what is a high priority task. All of that requires business context, and that is what we are building in our AI system. So in order to do that, in order to provide contextual intelligence, you need a business intelligence layer built in for your organization. And if you do not have a BI system implemented, your AI system is going to be much tougher. Because the business intelligence by default pulls in all the data across all your systems, all the connections, and then makes sense of it. So another way to change the formula is AI plus BI equals CI. So in order to generate the contextual intelligence, you have to fuse AI with business intelligence. And we do that with Zoho Analytics. And you're going to see those, and you're going to hear about it in our analytics session, where let's say you come up with a chart where your BI system shows your profit analysis. And there is a ZIA button in the top right corner of every report, every dashboard that you see out there. When you click that, the system automatically analyzes that and gives you insights from it. In this case, it gives an insight saying, your profit is down. Well, it is visible, but it is not enough if it says the profit is down, but you can now diagnose the various factors that are contributing to it. This is something we are working on as the next version of analytics, and we'll talk about that in our analytics track. You can do the diagnosis, and it'll give you the factors that might be driving to this. Hey, your profit is down, and these are the possible reasons. And it gives you the possible reasons. And in this case, the profit is down because your ad spend went up. And this is a specific example, but in this case, it's not just saying that your ad spend is down, it'll also make you actionable, meaning you can act on it and decide on what to do, like stopping an ad campaign or pausing an ad campaign. So we are making it actionable as well. So it is your AI applied to business intelligence, that is BI, contextually, that is CI, to decide on this particular action. So call it maybe the decision intelligence, DI. And that is where we are moving a lot of depth to some of the work we are doing here. So as you see, the context is really the king here. Let me give you a few other examples where we are applying AI. If you take CRM, if you look at any record for that matter, let's say your most active customer, several people are contributing and adding notes to that customer record. And there are cases where you may see 10 or 15 notes added after every meeting, every discussion, every interaction with the customer. But if you have a newbie coming and joining and trying to understand a quick summary of that particular record, how do you do that? What we have done is we have integrated AI and offered a summary. So ZIA, what it does is it aggregates all this information, all the notes, and gives you a quick summary on what that notes is all about. Simple, contextual, and useful. This is one example. Another example is, just like you want to know a summary, you may want to know the sentiment of the customer. What is the general sentiment of this customer? In fact, we introduced something called Voice of the Customer recently, where we'll give you the general sentiment of what the customer is feeling across the channels. When I say channel, it could be multiple channels, like based on the emails that we have received from the customer, based on the surveys they may have submitted, based on voice transcripts, based on the tickets that they have opened and all of those. We generate voice of the customer. And now we are planning to expand that to third parties as well. So you can aggregate data across sources and get a general sense of the sentiment of the customer. And that is being now, of course, integrated into the CRM. Some of the capability is already live, and we are expanding that beyond the current sources. Again, AI applied for a different context. Similarly, we take email templates. Whenever you add a lead or somebody signs up, you want to send out an automated email saying, hey, thank you for your interest in our product or service. Generally, creating those email templates sometimes is considered boring. Zia can help you with that, where we can automatically help you, create these templates with some simple prompts. So we have seen good usage on these. Or take the customer service context. You see a lot of automation happening where some of these customer interactions happen through chatbots. Humans are helpful. What if we combine the two, where some portions of it are automatically taken care by the chatbot, and as and when needed, the human intervenes? Can you blend the automated system with the human interactions? So we introduced blended conversations. Similarly, you can reply to some of these tickets, and the system can help you with the responses based on the context, based on the data you have in knowledge base and all of that. And the same reply assistance can be applied beyond the customer service. Somebody leaves a bad review or a good review on Google Maps, and you want to respond to that. Well, we have integrated reply assistance, in this case using Zoho Publish. That will help you manage reviews from third-party sites like Google. So you can say the same application in the expense side. I talked about scanning a receipt and automatically creating an expense in Zoho Expense. One thing you probably did not notice is, as a user, your user experience did not change. But what we have done at the back end is we silently replaced a narrow model with a mid-sized model. And what that means to you is the accuracy of extraction gotten significantly better. Again, as a user, you won't notice it. And that is what we mean by what our approach to AI is, meaning as a user, you do not know that you are using AI, but you're benefiting from it. And this is a perfect use case where we silently swapped some of these models, just that you gotten more productive and you don't have to edit many things after you scan the receipt. So there are several such examples. AI is contextually sprinkled across the board, across various applications. And the number of technologies we are working on are too many to even state in a presentation. Just to give you a quick glimpse into some of the things that we are working on. Each of these are technologies that we ourselves have built internally, and each of these are being integrated across the board. So just wanted to give you a sense of what we are thinking, where we are going in terms of AI. We'll talk about some of this later, but that's the first section. What's our approach to AI? Now let's move on to the second section, which is about collaboration and productivity applications. In the market, there are about 30,000 software vendors out there. And what's interesting is, there are pretty much you can say there are only two vendors in the industry doing communication apps, collaboration apps, productivity applications, as well as business applications. If you look at all the combination of these, there are only two vendors out there. we are one among them. And we have been investing in these for a long, long time. And we have been improving each of these products significantly. Take something like Zoho Meeting as an example. We have been improving that application, and now we are taking it to the next level, where we'll soon be introducing the installed application for Zoho Meeting that elevates the meeting experience out there. The Zoho Meeting installed application that will be natively available on Windows and Mac will add some additional capabilities that is not available on the web. And if you'd like to get a sneak peek of the product, please visit the Experience Center in the Expo Hall. They'll show you the product, see if you can score an early access. That's a good way to play with the product. It's just a meeting application. Now, several people are interested in projects, I see earlier. We have made some significant enhancements to projects. There are a few that are going to be rolled out later part of this month, and there are a few that will be rolled out in 2 to 3 months. So projects is getting significant enhancements, including some that are going live today. Like, for example, if you look at the Gantt charts, you notice that there is a new timeline view of the Gantt charts that's new. And that timeline view horizontally scrolls while the bottom part vertically scrolls. So that portion is new. We are adding there as well. We are making several other enhancements to projects. One of them is workflow. There are some new capabilities added to workflow as well. We are showcasing some of these in the Expo Hall, where we are demoing the product, and please visit the Experience Center to see some of them. Another key enhancements is we are bringing AI, that is Zia, to your tasks and milestone module. I showed you the Zia insights in the context of business intelligence. Now we said, why don't we bring that to Zoho projects? And that's what we are doing now. So Zia insights and AI capability, the insights will come to various modules within Zoho projects. So that some of these insights are interesting. You can say, hey, certain employees are closing their task faster. Maybe they are well ahead when it comes to closing their tasks compared to the timeline. These are insights that you would have to do a lot more analysis to get it, but all of those are going to be available by default thanks to Zia Insights. And these are the BI engine, and the work that we have done there is powering this. And I also talked about natural language, or asking in Zia search about questions about your documents. Well, that is also coming to your Zoho projects, where you can ask Zia about your project as well, where you can ask a question and it'll give you all the information about the project. Another key aspect, one of the most requested capability we have gotten for projects, is custom module support and ability to add your own modules. We are not only adding that, but we are also providing some pre-built templates and pre-built modules where you can enable and customize. Like, one of the most requested one is risks module. Similarly, incidents module, assets module. These are coming to Zoho projects as well, on top of creating your own custom module and customizing these as well. So that will be the first step. And down the lane, you're going to get a lot more capability to interlink across Zoho applications, various Zoho applications. So there are several other changes coming to Zoho projects. Some of those are being rolled out this week, and there are others coming very soon. So please visit our Experience Center and talk to our team. They'll be demoing what's coming as well. Now, yet another critical product in the collaboration portfolio is WorkDrive. It's a unified file system of Zoho. This is the file system that captures all the files, all the documents across Zoho. And we have made significant improvements to WorkDrive as well. We have brought in what we call as asynchronous collaboration. Now, within WorkDrive, You can now do screen recording and publish them, add them to OneDrive. You can do audio recording as well as screen recording along with video recording as well. You can capture those, share those, add comments, and that becomes a collaboration tool in itself. So OneDrive is adding that capability that is now being rolled out as well. Similarly, we are adding DLP, data loss and data leak prevention, in OneDrive. There are cases where you may have to capture some sensitive information from people. Sometimes you may want to capture date of birth, social security number, and maybe even other confidential information. And what if one of your employees unknowingly is sharing a document to a third party that has this sensitive information? Can the system automatically detect that and prevent that? And that's what this capability is, where you can define what you want to prevent, and the system will do that. And it comes with some pre-default built-in capability, like recognizing SSN, and it automatically alerts you. So you can set up some policies as well in OneDrive. On top of it, we are also bringing in workflows surrounding documents. Let's say your marketing team is planning to publish something on social media. Well, maybe you may want to have a process there so that there is an approval flow there, so that everything that is going to your social media goes through a certain approval cycle. So we are bringing in workflows into OneDrive as well. And all of these capabilities are being rolled out as we speak, and a good chunk of these are going to be available starting today. Our productivity applications also keeps getting better. In fact, we have been improving our productivity applications, and some of you may not even know that we do some of these productivity applications, but we have one of the most comprehensive productivity applications out there that we've been working on for over 15 years. Take something like document creation. Zoho Writer is a very, very powerful document creation application. If you haven't tried it, I would recommend trying it. In fact, it's a very powerful system where I'll quickly show it. If I want to create a document, let's look at a blank document, right? It looks simple, elegant, but if I want to create one, I can create, edit, and whatnot. And we have integrated Zia in here as well. Let's say I want to create a document, and I need to take Zia's help. Just do a / and it will say, ask Zia. So in this case, I would say, hey, create a document to obtain a Brazilian visa, right? And I want to get a quick jump start. What Zia does is obviously does a quick analysis and tries to give you a template on how on that. So it is basically asking me to give me, or asking me the list of details is getting all of those. Now maybe I don't like this, or I'll remove it and say create a letter to consulate to Brazilian consulate requesting a visa. Now, that might bring in a different response compared to this. Again, contextually integrated, and in this case, it got me a letter, and now I may want to put it through a workflow that we have created, and so that my HR team approves it, or I can add additional fields, like maybe add in some signatures and whatnot, and all of those are integrated as well. For example, I can insert a signature field and go through the process. And Zoho Writer is integrated with Zoho Sign as well. Simple, but I was talking about contextual productivity. This is a simple example. But we are adding something else which is unique. We are bringing in PDF editor in Writer. It is one of the most complex ones out there, where it's not easy to support PDF editors. This is more than 2 years of work of supporting PDFs out there. You can load up, this is in beta, you can load up any PDF file and try to see how it loads, edit it and whatnot. Once you bring it in, then you can do some interesting things. In fact, if you go back to this one, I like this document. Let's say, let me see what Zia thinks about it. So you can ask Zia, and it automatically makes some grammar suggestions here. Maybe add a comma. Okay, that's good. It'll tell me, the ease of reading, how easy it is, then the writing quality. All of those suggestions are given as well. And we have added something new here as well, which is plagiarism checker. So very often you see that where people just simply copy content from the web and then paste it here. Now it will now check for plagiarism as well. You can simply hit the check button, and that will help you determine whether it is plagiarized content or not. By the way, we made several enhancements to our spreadsheet as well. You can look at any spreadsheet, and you may notice that there is a Zia button there. In this case, I have a simple spreadsheet, like I'm going to, let's say, Brazil. I'm looking at Brazil sales data. Once you hit Zia, it'll give you the analysis of that data. It'll do some automatic analysis. It'll give you the data about it. Let's say I like the chart somewhere here. Now all you have to do is just drag the chart, drop it here, and make some changes. That is all it takes. And it'll also give you some analysis on what you can ask Zia. Like maybe create a histogram of profit, and it'll create that for you. It'll suggest you what you can ask as well. And these are some of the insights. In fact, I'm not big into creating formulas. And in this case, I'm looking at median of cost, and it gets you the data. It'll also tell you the formula for it. Now all I need to do is just drag that formula here and drop it, and you're good. And it'll also help you with some additional analysis. Let's say you want to do some formatting, some simple formatting. And Zia can help you with that as well, where you can look at some formats, and I say, maybe I have region here. Instead of this, I want to make it a pick list. And I can say, for the region, I want to make a pick list, add it, and all of a sudden, it converts that into a pick list. Again, automated, simple suggestions from Zia. Or I may want to maybe create a data bar here for the cost column, and I like this one, I want to add it, and it adds that column out there. Simple, powerful, AI applied contextually. And then we are also now bringing Zoho Sheet to the desktop as well. So a native desktop application is being added. If you like a demo of the product, please visit our experience center. They'll be showing you a demo of the installed product as well. Similarly, we are making some enhancements to the presentation as well. This presentation is created using Zoho Show, our presentation tool, and you can now create content, generate slides, give it more context, and AI is being integrated there as well. So our productivity apps are getting better, and that applies to our notebook as well, which is our note-taking application, a simple note-taking application. In fact, we have integrated AI into this as well. So if I go to, let's say, a notebook, I want to create maybe a simple note card. Maybe in this case, I'll do a to-do list. So I'll ask Zia and say, hey, give me the list of documents I need for my Brazil visa. It's a quick list, and Zia does a quick lookup, gives you this. I'll insert it to a note. That's my checklist. Close it. You're done. A simple way to create a list. And in fact, you can use Zia in multiple ways there. Let's say you created a lot of notes, and you are trying to make sense of all those notes. Then you can ask Zia as well. In fact, you can ask Zia, say, hey, give me a summary of Zoholics last year. So I may have created a lot of notes during Zoholics last year. What I'm asking Zia is give me a summary. So here, it takes all the data, all the notes I have that I've created last year, and summarizes that in there. Where did it get all this? These are insights generated from my content that I have created from these notes. It took all those notes and summarized it. And at any point of time, I can click, open that notes and do that. And of course, I can improve and all of that. But that's a quick way to make sense of any of those. So the idea here is contextually integrating some of these to make users productive. And the productivity applications themselves are getting better, deeper. With AI playing one part, but there are other parts that are not just AI, but these are general improvements, like the workflow improvements out there and several others out there. The productivity applications are something that are contextually integrated as well, which we're going to talk about in our collaboration track. Now let's move on to the privacy and the security side. Today, unfortunately, privacy is the price we pay to browse the internet. Our data is being tracked in multiple ways, and we think that's not the right thing, so we take a stance on that. And that is the reason we are taking a certain stance across the board, because the privacy seems to be the price we are forced to pay even for AI. Because you may have seen the news, some of the tech companies are basically using your data without your permission, and they are forcing you to send an email or uncomfortable ways if you do not want them to use your data. We think this is wrong. The default should be your data should be private, and privacy should not be the price you pay in order to do an AI system. And we take a stance on that. And of course, security should not be a price any of us should be paying. So we invest in privacy and security tools. This is the reason we launched ULA, which is an enterprise browser which takes care of privacy and security. And this is something we launched last year. ULA is a browser that takes privacy seriously. It has various modes out there. You have a work mode, you have a private, personal mode, and you also have a developer mode. There is a kids mode, and for those of you who do not care about privacy, there is also an open season mode, which means you're going to be hunted. All of these modes are available by default. And now we are also bringing in AI into the browser, where we built a phishing detection model that is now embedded into the browser. So if you happen to visit a site that is trying to capture information, the browser will automatically detect it. And we are the first browser provider that embedded some of these models into the browser. On top of that, we are also making some enhancements to the browser. For example, there are some sites that do not support night mode, right? The dark mode. So for those websites, now we are supporting it natively in the browser. You can enable the dark mode in some of those as well. Similarly, we are also bringing in Zen View. I mean, there are sites where there are too many graphics and less content. In that case, you just wanted to extract the content and get a quick view. You can enable the Zen View, and it will summarize the entire content that they have on the website right there. We are also bringing in something called Screen Share that shares details about how much time you're spending on each of the sites on top of the privacy report and whatnot. So we are adding additional capability there. And of course, on the security side, it's important to ask, what's your AAA strategy? AAA is authentication, authorization, and access control. And we are making several changes there. Particularly, we have two key applications there where we are making additions to. One is Zoho Directory. The other one is OneAuth. Last year, we expanded the directory support so that you can now log into your laptop using Zoho Directory. So where your authentication of your laptop is tied to your Zoho account. Now we are extending that further by adding additional capability and giving you more control there, where you can set up your security policies for your organization And you can, so to do that, we have added a few things called conditional access and routing policies, where you can decide how, under what conditions you want to provide access to your user and what kind of authentication you want to enable out there. So those security policies helps you mandate some of these, mandate good security practices for your organization, where, for example, you can say, hey, I want to enable a certain password strength. I want to enable multi-factor authentication. And maybe I want to refuse previously used passwords. All of these are suggestions that we come up with, and you can mandate it because you cannot compromise on security. Once you apply it, let's say you apply something like a multi-factor authentication, you can push it. You can force your users. But once you force your users, it has to be easy for them to log in. So we have simplified it significantly, where next time your users sign in, because once you mandate it, let's say your users sign in, we show a QR code which allows them install the multi-factor authentication app, which is OneAuth, and then they follow the steps, then the multi-factor authentication is enabled for their account. So a seamless way to enable multi-factor authentication where the administrator mandates it and a user is hand-holded through the process so that the process of multi-factor authentication is made very simple. So we have made these changes in our OneAuth application as well. And on top of it, we have something called Smart Sign-In, where you can directly sign into Zoho with a simple QR code, where you scan the QR code with our OneAuth app, and you are automatically logged in. And for those of you who are like me and not interested in entering any passwords, we also have a passwordless option, where you can enable the passwordless option, and all you need to do is enter your email address, and then the password section is pushed to your OneAuth app. You just press one of those buttons, one of the numbers that is displayed on the screen, and it will automatically log you in. Makes it seamless, yet secure. On top of it, we are also bringing in Adapt to SSO. What that means is the system has to be smart enough to detect what is an authorized sign-in and what is a possibly questionable sign-in. So we are bringing in Adapt to SSO. And there are several factors out there, like if you are logging into your system on a certain time of a day, or you're logging in from a certain browser, logging in from a certain computer, or a certain location, and there are some significant changes there, those changes are taken into consideration, and based on that, the multi-factor authentication is applied. In some cases, if it is a safe location, if it is simple, it may not even force you to do a multi-factor authentication. But there are unusual cases. Take something like a geo-velocity as we have here. Let's say you're logging into Zoho here from Austin, Texas. 3 hours from now, you're logging in from, let's say, Dubai. Well, there's no way you can go to Dubai in 3 hours, so the geo-velocity is considered, and based on that, it will force you to authenticate and enable multi-factor authentication. Again, all of this is adaptive based on your system and all of those. And we are also bringing in zero trust and others to keep the account secure. The first question I would ask you is your account secure? And all of us should ask the question frequently. Are you sure your account is secure? If you're not, I suggest visiting our platform services booth at the Experience Center, where they'll scan your badge, they'll tell you how secure your account is. They won't show that result to anyone, but please go through that, and they'll give you suggestions on how to secure your account. It is not just for your account, you can do it for the organization as well. Because it's important to follow good security practices for all of our accounts. and they can guide you through some of the things that we are working on. And one last thing I want to talk about platform tools. Any platform needs a broad set of tools for extendability, right? And we offer a broad set of tools, no code, low code, and pro code tools on one side. And these tools are used to customize, extend, or some of those are used for integration and others are used for developing new things. All of these are powerful tools. And low code tools make it simple to create complex tasks. And Zoho Creator falls in that bucket. And we have added several things on there. Like we brought in Zia as well to the app creation. For example, if you look at something like Creator, I want to create an application. Now, apart from the standard application creation, you can create using Zia. Now I can say, create event management application for, let's say, Zoholics 2025. Let's see what it says. I can ask Zia to create an application for that. And it is giving me the modules. In this case, manage events for 2025, registration management, communication and updates. And let me ask it to generate more use cases. Event schedule management makes sense. Event feedback management makes sense. Include sample data and generate the application. It automatically starts creating the application based on the simple data you provide. You can obviously ask it to, you can provide more information, and Zia will create or suggest an application based on that. Now, while the no-code tools make it simple to create an app, this is taking it one step further. It will give you a jump start. So here it created some sample data. I can look at the design of the application. It has the registration module, communication, event schedule module, feedback module. So these are good. So I create an application, and what it is doing now is creating an application, importing the data, and now I can access the application. That's how easy it is to simply create an application with various modules out there. If I want to edit some of these, let's say I want to edit this field or edit this application, and maybe I want to add more fields, just simply ask Zia, and it'll create, give suggestions on additional fields as well, which I can add to the list. If I want to add additional forms, I can simply ask Zia as well, and I can keep doing it. So we have made the app creation extremely easy as well, contextually integrating AI into it. And of course, we also have several excellent pro code tools that make these advanced tasks easier, and Catalyst is that pro code tool. And we are adding significantly powerful services to Catalyst. Some of the services are Signals, which is an event bus service, and Slate, gives you complete customizability for your front ends. We have Pipelines, which is for continuous integration and continuous deployment. And of course, if you're looking for a NoSQL database, it's now available in Catalyst as well. These are additional services that are being added to Catalyst. There is more. We are talking about it in the developer track as well. On top of it, we are adding a new tool called Aptics that will enable developers to take a quick look at how the usage is for each of these applications, either mobile or web. And you can look at feedback, manage App Store feedback, and all of that. That's a new tool we are introducing. All the details about these new tools are available in the developer track. So those are some of the tools. There is a lot more. You will hear a lot of these at the respective sessions. But at a high level, the platform keeps getting deeper and broader. And we would like to thank everyone for your support. Thank you.
All right, so we have time for a few questions.